What's up, MetaNerdz? This video is all about the TIE Aggressor, a hybrid of a starfighter and a bomber. Like all of the TIE Fighter line, it was manufactured by Sinar Fleet Systems, who also built things like the Immobilizer 418 and the Scimitar. Its cost is unknown, but would likely be around 250,000 credits, as it is said that it is much more expensive than the TIE Bomber and Interceptor. At a top speed of 1,000 km per hour, or 684 miles per hour, it was faster than an X-Wing, but slower than a TIE Fighter. Being 11.05 meters or 36 feet long, it was equal to the TIE Advanced, and nearly 2 Wookiees longer than a TIE Fighter. At 9.5 meters or 31 feet wide, it was an A-Wing across, and a Jawa thinner than the X-Wing. And being 6.28 meters or 21 feet tall, it was a Wookiee shorter than a TIE Fighter, and about twice the height of the ARC-170. Its armament is where it really shines, having a rear-facing turret-mounted twin light laser cannon and chin-mounted medium laser cannons, along with a concussion missile launcher that contained 6 missiles. Like the later First Order TIEs, it had a 2-man crew, a pilot, and a gunner/co-pilot. Sadly, it does retain the normal TIE series flaws, not having a hyperdrive or shielding, while also being relatively delicate. And it was actually less maneuverable than a TIE Fighter, being described as flying more like a Y-Wing. This led to the Rebels being able to target TIE Aggressors with concussion missiles or proton torpedoes, and take them out with a single hit, knowing it couldn't outmaneuver them, and it had no shields to absorb hits. To try and prevent this, the Empire would deploy them in pairs, with the lead fighter staying on the outskirts of the combat zone, taking shots at Rebel ships. Once the Rebels peeled off to engage them, the Aggressors would draw them away from combat, with their Imperial partner rushing over to follow up the Rebel ship from behind, trapping them in between the medium forward laser cannons and the lead Aggressor's tail gunner. There was also a more aggressive tactic known as the Double Edge, where this TIE would dive into the center of a conflict and cut apart ships both ahead and behind it simultaneously. As for its history, the TIE Aggressor was released after the destruction of the first Death Star, as a way to eliminate the growing amount of Rebel supporters. Emboldened by the destruction of the Emperor's prized battle station, many Rebel sympathizers were more bold in sending supplies, and many started to increase their sales of weapons and ships to the Alliance. So the TIE Aggressor was deployed to be able to eliminate whatever small escorts might be within these shipments, being able to fire forward, back, and still send missiles into these fighters. This made a curious predicament where the Empire was launching pirate raids into their own territory, seizing whatever they wanted, and blowing apart anything they didn't. The Aggressor was developed alongside the TIE Hunter, TIE Defender, and TIE Phantom, an excellent class of ships that may have been the best the Empire ever came up with. These were pumped out at their Imperial classified flight yards, and in order to fly one of these, you had to be a TIE pilot who had reached the rank of Lieutenant. Because of the secrecy surrounding the ship, the pilots, and their missions, they developed an infamous reputation amongst other Imperials, with TIE AG pilots being seen as exceptionally violent and as loners. How many of these ships survived on into the Imperial remnant is unknown, but the TIE SF used by the First Order in part draws inspiration from the Aggressor by adding a rear gunner to a TIE Fighter. That's it for its history, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind the scenes stuff. It first appeared in the Jump to Lightspeed expansion of Star Wars Galaxies, and was intended as an Imperial rival to the Y-Wing. It wasn't very maneuverable, but its armament was impressive, and it was all packed into the 4th smallest ship in the game. Other stats were expanded upon in the Imperial Handbook, guidebooks like Stay on Target, and it is also in the X-Wings miniature game. So that's it for the TIE Aggressor. If you want to connect with us, help support this channel, or get your own copies of the reference materials used to make this video, be sure to check out the links in the description. Special shout out to our supporters over on Patreon, but most important of all, remember, always have your shipments to Rebels insured, and the Force will be with you, always.